So, welcome, Lucy Crane. How are you today?
Really good, thank you, Caroline. How are you?
I'm fabulous. We're not going to mention the broken ankle at all through this
How
meeting.
did you do that?
Uh, I told you we're not going to mention it, Lucy.
Oh, okay.
But this is no, it's all right, my fault. Um, this is about you. I can still remember when I very first met you at James Bush's, because he was having a celebratory lunch for his team, and you were there, and I believe you were looking
I
to be
will.
supervisor at the time. Do you remember it?
Yeah, yeah,
You do.
yeah. A long time it feels now.
But I remember, well, one of the things I remember about you, Lucy, was your enthusiasm, and you just wanted to know stuff, and you were going, so how do I do this, and how do I do that, and how do I get to do that? And I just remember the energy coming off of you. So that's my very first memory of you. I have lots of other memories, Lucy, but that was my very first
Oh,
memory of
yay.
you. So I'm really thrilled that you agreed to come and join us tonight on the webinar and for me to interview. What I should mention is that um, I believe this is the first time you've ever done this, Lucy. Is that
It
right?
is. I've got no idea what you're going to ask me,
No.
Caroline.
And poor Lucy is, I won't say what she's doing right now, but she isn't aware of what I'm going to ask her. But I'm not going to ask you anything that you don't know the answer to. Does that make sense? So I just want to
Absolutely. It's about being honest. And
say again.
it's about me being honest, isn't it, with my answers?
It is about you being honest. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't send you the questions, because I just want you, and you do this really well, Lucy. I just want you to speak from the heart so that people really get
Okay.
you as an individual, but also get what you have to say as well. So, could you, first of all, I mean, this is something you do very regularly within Forever, but I just want you to give people a flavour of your background and what you used to do before Forever.
Yeah, of course. So um, basically, before Forever, I was a teacher. So I actually taught for about 4.5 years, and if I'm honest, felt really lucky because my first job I landed in a private school. So it did mean that in terms of my salary, it was much more than any kind of state school that I was going to go to. But it was just I just didn't have kind of any work-life balance with it. So I was constantly working. But to be honest, I loved what I did. It was great. I loved the whole teaching aspects, but it soon became quite political
Right.
with everything, as a lot of jobs do, a lot about paperwork rather than actually teaching. And it was kind of, I just felt like I was just working 24 hours a day, in my holidays, in my weekends, in my evenings. So I didn't really have any kind of work-life balance before Forever came along, if I'm honest. But I suppose because I'd gone to university, I'd paid university fees for about 6 years, did my degree, PGCE, even went and did a master's in it. So you kind of think if you've invested that much of yourself into a career, you
Yeah.
just kind of accept that's going to go with it.
Yeah.
So that was really me before I knew or heard about Forever. Do you want me to tell you kind of how I got myself
Well, I was
involved?
just interested to know, like, what or who inspired you to join Forever? Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I would be intrigued to know your response to this.
My mum.
Right.
My mum was the person that inspired me to join the business, yeah.
So, in what way did she inspire you? Because not being funny, Lucy, but not everybody listens to their parent.
Um, I didn't for 6 months. I was really skeptical. She started Forever, and she was making, a really nice income around her personal training job with it. And if I'm honest, I just saw products, so I kind of wasn't interested in taking a look. But she kept asking me to take a look. She told me it would get me out of my job. She told me I'd be great at it. I should really take a look, but I didn't for 6 months. Um, but then, I think I actually went to a business presentation at a time in my life where I just felt a bit desperate. I kind of was very down, and I just thought, I don't know how long I can go along this, hamster wheel for much longer. And in a way, I thought, you know what, she's my mum, and I trust my mum, so I'm
Mm.
going to go and see what she's talking about. And I did.
That's
So I
brilliant.
went to.
I love that. I love that.
went to the business presentation, and then I just said to Mum, "Why didn't you get me there sooner?"
And she said, I've been trying to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think
And
there is that assumption in a way, Lucy, that because your mum did sponsor you, that I think there is that assumption was that your mum came into Forever, she saw it, she spoke to you, you joined. But that obviously isn't what happened.
no, not at all. I actually felt, if I'm totally honest, I felt a bit insulted that she had asked me to look at it, because I thought, Mum, I just spent like 6 years working my arse off, if you like,
Yeah.
for my career, and you're asking me to look at something different.
Yeah.
And I think it was that whole kind of, this is my career, this is what I'm doing.
Mm.
What you're talking about is not what I thought was normal, I suppose, back then.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as you can see what you have in your hands with the business, it changes everything, your perception of everything, and about what the business is all about. It's not just about products like I thought it was.
So it's interesting. So she spoke to you for 6 months about it, and you said that you were at a desperate point, and that's why you went to the BP and you trusted your mum. So, I
Yeah.
mean, not wishing, and Jackie, I know, will be listening to this, so I don't want her to think that yes, that I'm making a judgment here. But would you say that she banged on about it a bit?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, she was so excited. And she was so excited, I suppose she was living with me, and she could see how unhappy I was in my job.
Right.
And I
Okay
think
then.
when, and I think that's what a lot of us face, isn't it? We see all these people in our lives that could benefit so much from the business, that we feel that it's our job to really kind of tell
Mm.
them about it and tell them how to get them out of it. But I think that's another thing about it, it's learning the skills of talking about it. Because once I understood it, because someone at the front of the room at the BP was telling me, as it was, I then got it. But
Yeah.
maybe it's because she was my mum. I don't know.
But that's really interesting, isn't it? Is that I mean, aside of the fact that you are her daughter, you said it's our job, and I feel in many ways it's our responsibility to tell people about it and to continue to let
Yeah.
them know about it, because it's really difficult, because I think sometimes we can sort of sound almost evangelical in the fact we found another way, um, but in
Yeah.
reality we have found another way. And it sometimes it's quite difficult to get that over in a way that people understand it as a credible option.
Absolutely.
Mm, okay.
And I suppose another thing is that anyone could do it. I suppose it's one of
Yeah.
those things that you
Yes.
don't need any background experience, and it's one of the things where I think, well, actually, I've worked hard to do what I'm doing now. So why am I going to then do something that, do you know what I mean? But they
Yeah.
don't until they understand the bigger picture of it. And I think that doesn't actually come until you've joined the business and you've been to quite a few trainings and events.
Yeah.
I still think when I was new, I didn't still get it.
Mm. Oh, no, definitely. No, and I think that's really difficult, isn't it? I think that, when I was in corporate life, when I was applying for jobs, I was like, going, oh, I've got the job now. And you kind of almost go, right, okay, then, so I've got to learn all about it. But when we come into this, I think we kind of go, oh, we've made the decision to join. Oh, that's it. But actually, we've
Yeah,
still got to go through all that learning process. And we've got to take on board
yeah,
everything that is being offered to us, and not just to do it once, we need to do it several times. So, because interestingly enough, one of the things I have noticed about you, Lucy, is that you and Andy Waring are really good friends. And the reason you're really good friends is because I would say, how many of the Ghost Soarings have you been on?
every single one since the join.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And why do you do that? Tell everybody why you do that.
Okay, so the first time I went is because my mum told me it was the best training I should go on, and I trusted her and went on it, and it definitely was. Because the first time I went, what I learned from it was all of the basics. It just made the business cycle make sense,
Yeah.
because he really simplifies everything. But
Yeah.
every time I've gone back to that training, I've got something different from it, because I'm at a different stage of my business.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm at a different stage of my own personal development, a different stage of my own mindset, which you have to kind of work on all the time. And because of that, every time you go, even though you're learning the same material, which actually he has been adapting, so again he
Yes, it does.
updates it
Yeah.
with the times,
Yeah.
technology, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't stop going. even as a diamond manager, I'm not going to stop going down.
And that's really interesting, isn't it? Because I agree with you. I think that when I can't remember how many I've been on. I think I've missed 3 out of all the ones that they've done, and I can't remember how many they've done now. And that's been for all sorts of reasons. But I still make notes, and I don't think whether you've been on all of them that you stop making notes. And the reason is because you're going, oh, I know he said that about 80 times to me already, but actually, do you know what? I heard it this time.
Exactly that, and you're ready to action it.
Yes, and that's the important thing, is not only have you heard it, but you've decided you're going to take some action from it as well. So that's really interesting. So you've said who inspired you to join Forever, but what inspired you to join Forever?
So what I saw in the business and what it could give me, a chance to start living and stop surviving.
Oh, right.
A chance to breathe again. I didn't have, it sounds really ridiculous, but going to the gym is really important to me. Like in terms of my mental health, I have to exercise, and I didn't have time to do anything like that for me. And it sounds really silly, but initially I just wanted time to be able to go to the gym or go for a run in the morning. But if I'm honest, when I saw this business, I knew I was going to get out of my teaching job. Like I knew that's what I wanted to go with it, and I knew in my head that I'm going to build a business to a 6-figure income, because I know if I put my mind to it, anyone from any background can do that. It's, as we hear it all the time, everyone starts with the same box. It's just how you approach yourself. And everyone's journey is so different. So, in terms of time and mindset and the challenges, I mean, I think we all face the same challenges, don't we? But for me, it was time and financial freedom, really, because if I'm honest, Mum won't mind me saying this, but, I've seen Mum and Dad struggle, and for me, what would be my dream come true is to give them all the money in the world, like, family, friends. That to me is my main priority. That money is not an issue.
And it's interesting, you're the second person in the team today, because I had a planning meeting earlier on this afternoon, and you're the second person in the team who has used the expression, I knew that if I put my mind to it, I could do it.
Yeah.
Because actually we all have the ability to do it, it's whether we put our mind to it or not. In other words, whether we set, that focus on it or not. And I think, when one of the reasons that Andy has got Sharon in there is because she helps with the mindset, but I also think Andy helps with the mindset, because she kind of gives us the wherewithal to get our mind in the right place so that we can absorb the skill sets that he's suggesting we take on board.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think mindsets, if I'm honest, I didn't really take it seriously at the beginning, because I think when you're new, there's so much to kind of absorb that you can almost, and I do this anyway. I think having a teaching background, I overcomplicate things, so that wasn't a great start for me anyway. But I don't think I actually took it very seriously. I know I didn't, and it wasn't until really I got to manager that I realised that I wasn't allowing myself to get any further.
Oh, right. Because of my... That's interesting. So where did you see your first step then? Was it manager, or did you just kind of go, right, so supervisor, assistant manager, manager? What did you see were the possibilities? You said about the 6-figure income, but did you see that originally? I don't know.
Oh no, if I'm honest, I kind of thought, can someone like me really look to earn something like that?
Right.
I suppose that's what people think, isn't it? Because you look at a 6-figure income and think that's for other people. But actually, when I think the pivotal point for me when I believed I could do it was when I got to manager.
Right.
And I do think that's the most challenging time, is going from assistant supervisor to manager, because that is when you get the negative people. It is when you get most of a lot of the challenges. But I think once you pass that, you kind of know what challenges are going to come at you, and you learn how to overcome. More effectively.
Yes, and I really get what you're saying there. Actually, it is when you get to manager, you're going, right, okay, then. So I did have those challenges, but actually now I'm here, and I know I'm going to get them again. And I remember Chris and Alan Goldsborough, because I remember saying to them something along the lines of, it's all right for you because you're really successful in this business. And I think they
Yeah.
just turned Sapphire manager and they go, oh, we so wish we were an assistant supervisor again. And I was going, why like this? And they said, because so many people say, oh, I couldn't be as successful as you are. And I'm going, oh no. So we just have different challenges, I think. But I think what we do
Yeah,
realise is that we can overcome those challenges and we can look at it in a different light. Whereas I think when you're an assistant supervisor and you're trying to get your first person or get to supervisor, yeah. So what did you see as the biggest kind of challenge to yourself when you first started?
people's opinion.
Ah, interesting. Okay then.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like it anyway. I really care about people's opinions.
You're not the only one,
Um,
Lucy, so don't feel, not I'm
I
not
actually,
saying that in a rude way, but I'm just saying to you, you have, I expect practically everybody, if not all of them on the line tonight have gone, oh my, thank goodness for that. Somebody is like me. So yeah, don't
yeah,
apologise for
I
that.
think for me that's been the worst thing. I mean, if I'm totally honest, there was 3 times from me going to assistant supervisor to manager that I nearly believed they were right and I was wrong. And there was, I remember I was in one occasion, I felt like I'd been humiliated because it was in a pub and someone was, ripping it apart. And at that time, I think I was a supervisor, and I just went home crying and thought, you know what, maybe they're right.
You,
And then the same guy that completely criticised me, I then drove back in with my new BMW. Thought,
you did a Jane Lee. You did a Jane Lee on him, didn't you? That's so cool.
but it's really hard. And I'll tell you what else is worse. It's the people that you care about.
Yeah.
My really good friends, they had so many negative things to say. You're leaving your teaching for what?
Mm,
And it really can be heartbreaking, I think, when it's the people that you love and care about. And
yeah.
I've got teams that have got partners that can be very unsupportive.
Mm,
But I tell you something, they always come round. They always come round. You just got to have to kind of stick at it and keep
mm,
going.
mm.
Show them that you're serious in building
Yeah.
your business.
I would say that one of the greatest gifts that we can have is a supportive partner, and
Yeah.
because they just let you get on with it, and they can be negative in different degrees, and I mean even a supportive partner can be slightly negative because it could be like tonight I'm upstairs, my husband's downstairs, it's time away from him, it's Sunday night, but he knows why I'm up here. um,
Yeah.
but does that make him look at me as if to say, oh, could you not do it for one day? And I go, no, can't. Sunday, this is what we do. um, so that's really interesting you say that, actually, Lucy. As I say, I think there's a lot of people that are kind of pleased in a way, and I don't mean that in a pleasing but are just almost like, phew, thank goodness. Lucy's a
Mm.
manager. So actually, yes, you're a manager in the business, but what would you say has been your greatest achievement? And it doesn't have to be something on the marketing plan, but what would you say is your greatest achievement?
Um, One of the things that for me, is I love when I host my team sizzles and things.
Yeah,
And I look around the room and think I've helped create these, like I've helped develop and grow these people to the people
yeah,
they are.
yeah,
That for me, like watching people go through the personal development journey.
yeah,
Because, there's people that join that've got no confidence, and the journey you go on in this business is great. And I think to help inspire people to achieve that for me, it's been one of my top achievements, and I feel really proud when we do team sizzles and things of all of them when they go through that.
and that's
Um,
that I what that is what it's about. It's very difficult, isn't it, when we say it's not about the money, because we need to earn an income to be able to live and to do the things we want to do. But actually,
yeah,
for me, I can remember quite a few years back now, one of my team members, she was going, I just don't get it, I just don't get it. And I was going, that's okay, don't worry, I can see you can't get it. And she said, well, how do you know when I got it? And I said, because your eyes will change. And she like looked at me as though I was some witch or something. No, white witch, not black witch. And I remember saying to her one day, I remember leaning across and said, it's okay, I can see you've got it. She said, oh, my eyes changed. So I go, yeah, I have. And she said, well, what about, I said, you'll see it in your team. And I remember her turning to me and going, oh, I saw create one of my team today. It's so cool, isn't it? And it's that you can just see how they're just relaxed. You can see the sparkle in their eye, and there is no better feeling than seeing that. It's just,
you know, it's in their blood as well now. You
yeah,
know that they've
yeah,
seen it and
yeah,
they believe that they can do it in themselves.
yeah.
Because that can take some time with a lot of people as well.
Say again?
Because that can take some time, can't it, building belief in people?
Yes, yes, it is that thing where, and some will do it quicker than others. And as you said earlier on, we all have our own journey and we all have our own speed with which we do things. So,
Yeah.
so you've talked about that being your greatest achievement, but what would you say is your biggest learning? In other words, if you could kind of go, oh, that really hit home.
This would have to be. Can I say a couple of things?
Yeah, sure.
So my route to manager, the month before and after, and the month I went manager, me and Mum, I can't tell you how hard we worked. I don't think we slept for 2 months.
I remember it.
We went through massive action of retail.
Yeah.
And if I'm totally honest,
just losing you a bit, Lucy.
after we went manager,
yeah,
the case credits just dropped massively.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now, yeah.
Okay, which bit did I get up to?
Where you just said the month before and the month after.
I was just saying we did massive retail to get.
Lost you again.
Yeah, so the month after I went manager. Oh, is it my end or your end?
I don't know. I just keep losing you. You just keep on going blank for some reason. I've still got internet, so I don't know what the problem is. So just maybe use different words. Maybe the internet doesn't like those words. You still with me, Lucy?
Well, all I was saying was that, you know, get to manager with a manager team.
Yes. Okay then.
Okay. Sorry, I was just saying get to manager with a manager team and a manager business, not through retail.
Yeah.
And can you still hear me, Caroline?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll tell you if I can't.
Shall I move closer to my internet?
Whatever suits you, but
okay.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, and my second biggest learning experience has been in my leadership skills. Stop working with the people that aren't worthy of your time because it will exhaust you.
Yes, yeah, most definitely. And for those of them,
so now I am full case credit active people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we've got incentives in just to kind of help people focus in on that, and I'm really proud of them. You know, they've achieved what they wanted to do this month as well, which is fantastic. In fact, some have exceeded what they'd planned to do as well. And just for those of people who aren't aware of what you just said about having a manager team, what people tend to do is they tend to kind of force being manager rather than helping it go organically. And what it is the structure of the team doesn't actually mean that they maintain those 60 case credits on a monthly basis, and it can drop, and then it can be that can be challenging because you kind of go, oh, what's happened to my business?
Exactly. Absolutely. But yeah, I suppose that was, you know, we worked so hard to get there.
Yeah.
And actually, I think about my team now, the team that I had going to manager, I don't believe there's even one active member of that team now. It's the people that I sponsored since going manager that are now my key people that are coming through. So
a lot of people say that. I don't say that because that's not true, because Jane was one of the people that was there when I went manager. I'm just trying to think. I don't think Sharon was. I think Sharon, was she after? Do you know, I can't remember now. Terrible, isn't it, when you've been in the business the eons I have. But yes, I would say a lot of the team that I had then are no longer even buying stuff. And that's the honest truth of it, is because for whatever reason, you know, maybe I was sponsoring for the wrong reasons. I don't know. Is there anything you do differently?
What, to the Simple Cycle?
Well, in your business, is there anything, if you could, in looking back, is there anything that you would go, I would do that differently?
Absolutely.
Right, just one or two, Lucy, not the whole thing. No, but tell us some of the things that you would do differently.
Okay, so the reality is I without intentionally doing it, I did overcomplicate this business, because I was one of those people that just went to every training I could, and then at every training event, I would try and compose some sort of training for my team and pass it down,
Oh
which was
yes, no, I
great.
remember that happening. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
ended up confusing my whole team, because, I'm trying, every week trying something new, trying another supervisor
yeah,
boot camp this week, then I'm going
yeah,
to try this because that leader's done it. And I didn't really focus on actually the needs of my own team. And it's not about what other people are doing. Yes, you can get ideas from them, but keep it simple, really simple. Use the resources that are already there. Why? Because I used to spend
I
days
remember.
making presentations,
Yeah,
because I thought that's what leaders do, and I just wasted so much time because I was just reinventing the wheel, reinventing the stuff that was already
yeah.
there.
Yeah, but I can understand why you did that, because there is this inherent thing and we want to help people. We want to, it's a bit like, my son, I know you've not got children, but it's that thing of you're trying to you're trying to let them go in life, but you kind of trying to nurture them as well. And I think it's trying to get that balance between, I'm trying to give you um, information and trainings and teaching so you can go off and fly, but actually I think you just need to listen to me a little bit more before you do that. And I think that's a natural thing, and I think it's really difficult to know. One of the things I find a biggest challenge for me is, am I giving too much, am I not giving enough, or
Exactly.
and that's, I find
And
that, I still find that really difficult.
I spoon fed them for too long.
Mm,
I took responsibility for all of their teams, so people that I sponsored then felt that it wasn't their responsibility.
right,
Therefore, when I stopped, the
yeah,
case credit stopped. No one
yeah,
could do anything without me, and
mm,
it was I exhausted myself doing it.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but it's difficult because, again, I think when you sit down with someone and they tell you why they're doing this business, you never want to give up on them,
no, you
and
don't.
that's what I giving up on it,
No,
because
yeah,
you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves, but I
yeah,
did.
no, yeah, and I so get that. There are, yeah, yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking of all the people, yeah. But I think, you just have to let them, you do have to just let them go and just realize, yes, that, yeah, you just have to let them go. And
The
also
right
I think
time.
that's when they really can come to the fore, because by letting them go, it's a bit like they might be swimming with armbands, but they're still swimming.
Exactly. No,
So
absolutely. And I've got another girls coming through now, and it's done in the world of good, because,
yeah,
I had girls that I used to chase all the time. How are you getting on? I haven't heard from you for a couple of weeks. Can I do anything? La la la.
yeah,
And actually, they didn't move. But as soon as I left them, they've come back to me. Now they're doing the
yeah,
activity and they're becoming responsible for
yeah,
their own activity,
yeah.
which is what you want to do. But it can be
Yeah.
quite tough at the beginning.
And it is difficult because again, the thing is you can't keep on asking them. Do you know what I mean? They have to come to you, because otherwise you would just spend all your time on the phone going, "How are you? What's going on? And yeah. So
Yeah.
I have one more question to ask you. If you
Okay.
could choose someone, I know this is the blockbuster question. Don't know why I said that, but I wish I could retract that. If you could choose someone, if you could choose someone within Forever who you want to aspire to, who would that be?
Can I say more than one person or just one?
You can say as many as you like.
Okay. Emma Cooper,
Okay.
Louise, Louisa Perry,
Yeah.
Natalie Healy,
Yeah.
Juliana Beavan.
Yeah.
These are all the people that I look at with their activity and things. Abigail Horn,
Yeah.
Jane Leach,
Okay. So why all women?
Andy Waring.
Oh, okay. And then we flung in your friend. Flung in your friend. Sorry, I'm teasing you about the friend bit. Sorry, I shouldn't tease you about that.
No, don't be silly.
Yeah,
I love Andy.
but he does that lovely thing where he smiles and goes, Lucy. I think that's lovely when he does that. Um, so so
Oh,
can you just say one why you chose them? And there may be one common aspect, or it could be two or three things.
absolutely. So it's I suppose it's their achievements and what they've done, because what they've done is where I want to get to. I want to help my team get to. Obviously
Lost you, Lucy.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Where your team got,
Yeah.
you want to help your team get to it, yeah.
Yeah, they're at the positions that I aspire to be at, I suppose. I love their own stories. You know, Louise Perry wasn't she wasn't fast. She had a lot of her own challenges.
Yeah.
And I look at her and think, well, you know, if she can, then we can, we all can.
Yeah.
In terms of when I look at Emma Cooper, I think I need to be consistent like you, because I struggle with to her, because I think I need your work ethic, I need your everyday determination. So that's why I aspire to her. I love Juliana Beavan. I just think she's a ray of sunshine.
She's lovely.
Yeah, like her, just seeing her, like she just makes me smile, because that's just
she's a very humble person, isn't she? She's very humble.
So, absolutely, I think she's amazing. Natalie Healy, I think she had a really tough journey, and you know, I really like her story. The fact that she watched her mum for such a long time, and now look at where she is. Like, I just find it unbelievable. And all of them together, just I know it's possible for me. If they can, I can, and they're just I just think they're great. I think they've just done the simple cycle, and because they inspire us to do it as well.
Yeah. So if you could give one piece of advice to the team tonight, what would that be?
Never ever give up, and always believe in yourself and the business, because I know how easy it is when you have down days to think, you know what, this is too hard. I can't do this. Someone like me can't do it. But the reality is, every single one of you can achieve diamond, whatever it is you're looking for, just by sticking to the basics. You don't have to be anything amazing. You've just got to be committed to doing the basics on a consistent basis. And you know, I'm telling you this because that's the advice I tell myself every day. Because if I'm honest, that's why I'm here. You know, that is the only reason I've got to manage, because I have done that, and you learn all the way. You know, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because I think actually you have to tell your way to success in the business, and just embrace the fact that you've got things wrong here and there, but it's okay. You learn from it and move on.
I don't know if you've noticed on the screen, I didn't change the slides from last week. I just popped your picture on there, and it says QLS training weekend at the top. So maybe this is something for you to aspire to as well, as be speaking at the next QLS training weekend, which will be next year.
That would just be amazing. But I know I've got to work really extra hard to do that. But I will.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to just unmute everybody. I know they've got their own mute buttons on, so if everybody wants to unmute, and as Anne-Marie pointed out to me last week, she feels that everybody has got different enough accents for me to understand who's actually speaking first, but it would be quite nice if you did introduce yourself to Lucy. But has anybody got any questions that you would like to ask Lucy at all tonight, any of you?
Caroline, it's Hayley.
Yeah.
Lucy, it's not really a question. I just wanted to say this has been fantastic, really inspirational, very, very helpful, and really good to hear the downs and not just the, you know, I've achieved. It's actually the journey to get there. That it's everybody probably faces quite similar challenges. So a lot of what you say resonates with me, as I've been in for about 6 months. So my biggest challenge is mindset and believing I can do it. So just so inspirational. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Thank you so much. I'm really pleased you got that from it. And you know, I do think belief is the biggest challenge for most, but you know, you can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just, you know, following that simple cycle and following the people that inspire you. And
I think also, as you said, it's not chasing the ones who don't, because you want it so much for them.
Exactly.
They have their own journey, and you have to kind of let them get to that point where they're ready to do it too.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember I used to have everyone on my team, and I'd count case credits, and what it made me forget the activity I needed to do. And I think so I stopped sponsoring as regularly, and that had a massive impact. So, you know, just focus on what you need to do, and helping those that really want it, and obviously believe in yourself getting there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Any other questions or statements anybody wants to say to Lucy while we're on the line?
Hi Caroline, it's Anne-Marie.
Hi Anne-Marie.
How are you?
Good, thank you. What do you want to say to Lucy?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Lucy. It's very much appreciated.
Oh,
You're
no,
coming
you're
on to have a chat with us. Just a bit of sort of a quick question and sort of how you sort of dealt with the situation. Obviously, we all have our ups and we all have our downs.
Yeah.
In a down sort of case when you're in it, and you're not really focusing fully on the business the way you know you should be doing it, and you know you do, how would you have sort of got yourself out of that, refocused again?
Shall I tell you what I do every time I feel like that? I will watch a video of Jane Leach.
Yeah.
For me, that's really helped. There's something about her that just says, come on, snap out of it.
Yeah.
So that's really helped. But also speaking to people. So speak to your upline. So I've always had my mum there. So, I mean, thankfully for me, I know some people can't work with family, but actually I love working with mum. So I've had her there to speak to. So speak to your upline when you're feeling like that, because what most people do is they just sit and think about it. And as they sit and think about it, they start telling themselves why they can't do it, start telling themselves all these negative thoughts, and it escalates. So eventually they do no activity. And obviously the less activity you do, the less you believe in yourself. And it just has that knock-on effect. So I would say, you know, get it in the bud early. When you start to feel like that, pick up the phone, just speak to someone who you know is going to give you that positive energy again. Watch some of Jane Leach on YouTube, and that's what's always helped me. So I hope that'll be helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, great question as well, Anne-Marie. Great question. I'll have to add that to my other questions in the future as well. Anything else anybody wants to ask before we say thank you to Lucy?
No, I'm great. Thank you very much, Lucy.
Okay.
No, you're welcome. Thank you so much for asking me to join you tonight. It's lovely to be asked. Thank you.
Well, Lucy,
Yeah, hopefully we'll hear from you again, Lucy.
yes, yeah. And actually, one of the things I did mean to ask you is, what's your big goal for this year?
Sapphire Manager, December 2016.
Excellent.
I said it.
Yeah, and do you know what's great? You know, I can hear you that you're going to do that, because it didn't just trip off your tongue, because you just went, this is what I'm going to do, and and you're going to do it, Lucy. I think it's brilliant. One of the things well, Lucy is what they call out of my pay line. So I'm just trying to think how many generations you are now. So that's Jane, James, Carl.
7, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking 7 deep to me, aren't you? Yeah. But do you know what? You're just such an addition to the team, Lucy, in so many more ways than one. And you were the first person that I wanted to have on this year, because I knew that you would be an inspiration for people. So I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on this evening. And when I say you're out of my pay line, that sounds as though I don't kind of take any notice of what's going on and you're inconsequential, but you are very consequential, because again, you know what you've shown me, Lucy, is that duplication works. Duplication works. Because although we speak occasionally and things like that, you know, you are 7 deep to me, but you are the product of us keeping to the system, making sure we look after people, let them, you know, you are a product of duplication working, and I'm just so proud to have you in the team.
Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
So thank you as well. So so this has been recorded this evening. So what I will do is I will hopefully post this in the next 10-15 minutes, because it takes a little while to download. But from all of the team, Lucy, a huge thank you, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Oh no, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm so grateful you asked me, and I'm glad I've helped.
Yeah.
You know, if I've helped with anything, I'm really pleased.
Yeah. Well, yes, and that comes over with strong. Okay, then you take care, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thank
you. Bye. Bye.